Clutch Trucker is filmed before a live studio audience. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in again to the Clutch Trucker channel. The subject of this video is going to be how do you save money on service? Because you have to constantly have something done on your truck or trailer. I own my own truck, I own my own trailer, so I got to do service on both. Last company I leased to, who will remain nameless, it rhymes with Indian Creek Express. All right, they had their own trailers, and so anyway, I didn't have to worry about the trailer stuff. But a lot of times, I had to do a really good pre-trip because sometimes they'd miss something, and I'd be halfway across the country, and a tire blows out, or I got a wheel seal issue, or blah 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 blah. And they were all reefer trailers, and so a lot of times, the reefer stuff had issue. I tell you, ever since I switched to dry van, it's so much easier, less to go wrong. You only have one engine to worry about, not two. Anyway, if you're an owner-operator and you own your own stuff, even if you just own your own truck, you got to try to save money wherever you can. And today, it is August 19th. It's Sunday. I'm in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, and I'm parked at the Sapp Brothers. There's not a lot of Sapp Brothers out on the Eastern Way. This is one of the few. This is about the only one. Actually, east of, Kansas City, I think. Yeah, so, anyway, most of the Sapp Brothers are along I-80. I live in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We have a Sapp Brothers there. There's a Sapp Brothers in Salt Lake City. There's one in Junction City, Kansas, off I-70. There's one in Ogallala, Nebraska. It just has fuel. They don't have service there. They've got another one, and I can't remember the name of the town in Nebraska. I want to say Odessa, maybe. It unfortunately does not have a shop either. There's one in York, Pennsylvania. Again, I think it also doesn't have a shop. But they do have a shop at their two locations in the Omaha area. At the Omaha one at exit 440, I believe. And at the Council Bluffs location at exit 1, right after you cross the border into Iowa. They've got a shop at that one. And they've got a shop here in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. They also have a shop, their newest one, I think it's called Harrisonville. It's south of Kansas City on I-49. I've had some stuff done there. I just want to say, if you're an owner-operator, this is the way to go. Sapp Brothers is fair. Their prices are good. They get the job done right the first time. I do the majority of my truck work on my truck or trailer at Sapp Brothers. And sometimes, like the last week or so, I was through the house a couple of times, but I wasn't there long enough to get what I needed to get done on the truck. Now, I had a load I picked up in somewhere. I delivered in Columbia, Missouri, and then where did I pick up? Now I'm going to have to go to my notebook here. Hang on a second. Stand by while I refer to my notebook. Okay, I picked up in no, that's Vancouver, Washington. Quincy, Illinois is where I picked up. Okay, and it's going to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. I had my DOT done on my truck a couple of weeks ago at a Boss shop in Gretna, Nebraska. If you can tell by my look, not impressed with Boss shop. I've used them for a couple minor things before, and they've been okay, but they were just completely full of soap. Oh, you need this done, you need that done, you need this done. I'm like, yeah, really? I'm not a company driver here, pal. Like I had to fix my trailer license plate light. You might have watched that video where I explained about that the other day, and while crawling under my trailer, of course, I checked out all my brakes because I'm an owner-operator, and so I'm going to check out everything whenever I can. I'm already down there, I'm already greasy, I'm already dirty, I might as well look. And they seem pretty good to me, and yet the Boss shop a few days earlier had told me, oh, you got to replace the brakes, at least these two, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, yeah, I don't think so. I went under there myself, measured them myself, and said, yeah, I don't think so. And like I say, I wanted to go to my own shop, Sapp Brothers in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I couldn't get through in time I tried the Sapp Brothers in Peru, Illinois. I was going to go 100 miles out of my way to go see those guys. They were so stacked up over the weekend they couldn't get to me. So I came here, pulling my 34 at the Sapp Brothers in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, and they got me in today. They checked it out. I knew I had at least one bad wheel seal on my trailer because it wasn't going to pass the DOT inspection. And they checked and they said, yeah, you got one bad one, and this other one here is really close. You might as well do it while you're here. I'm like, great, fine. Of course, the Boss Shop was saying I had 3 of them that were bad, and the Boss Shop was saying I needed all new brakes on my trailer, which, after I measured, and again, after Sapp Brothers here checked, they're like, no, you don't need brakes yet. You still got some time on those, which is what I thought. But, I'm not a mechanic, so I try to learn as much as I can and fix as much as I can on my own, but I don't always have the answers on stuff like that. But this is why I trust Sapp Brothers, and they're a hell of a lot cheaper. I called the Petro in New Paris, Ohio to see what they'd charge to do wheel seals, and it was going to be a hell of a lot more than I paid here. Now granted, I paid about $40 more per wheel seal here in Clearfield, Pennsylvania than I would have paid in Council Bluffs, Iowa. That's just reality. The further you go east, the more those prices go up. Still though, being in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, it wasn't a bad deal. $220 for each wheel seal. They did them complete. They cleaned everything out. I stood there and watched them do everything. It's another thing I always do as an owner-operator. Okay, I may not be able to be in the shop. I'll stand outside the freaking door and I'll watch everything you're doing. And Sapp Brothers never has a problem with me doing that. Why? Because they do everything right. How about that for a change? So mainly this video is just to let you know, if you're an owner-operator like me and you're trying to save some bucks, go to some place you can trust. I can trust all the Sapp Brothers. Now, I've never had service here in Clearfield, Pennsylvania before until today, and I will give this one thumbs up. Props on that one. I've been to the Council Bluffs one many times, Cheyenne many times. I've had some stuff done in Salt Lake. I've had stuff done at the Harrisonville one south of Kansas City. They're just honest. They give you a good price. They're a good place to buy tires. I've bought a few sets of tires from Sapp Brothers before. The only reason I didn't the last 2 times is because I went through my company's national account and saved some money, and I got them through a TA. Boss Shop, I'm not impressed with those guys. They used to own truck stops in mainly Nebraska and Iowa and so forth, and they sold them all off to Pilot. And then, of course, they all took a major dump after they sold them to Pilot. They're still running their shops. They're good for a few things, like, their tire prices aren't bad. I had to buy a new spare tire while I was at that Boss Shop that I carry on my spare tire rack. And they had a decent price on that, so I paid them for that. But TA and Petros, they wanted a hell of a lot more for the wheel seals and brake jobs. And Boss Shop wanted a whole bunch more. Sapp Brothers is decent. They're fair. They're worth it. And you can usually get in right away. Now, the one in Council Bluffs in Omaha the other last week, when I was going through, tried to get in. They were just completely stacked up. Maybe I shouldn't even be telling you about this because, maybe they'll be more stacked up. But Sapp Brothers is decent for a shop, and they can do damn near anything. What I've done in the past, a lot of times, like when I had a condenser that had a leak in it, and I needed a new condenser. Sapp Brothers in Cheyenne didn't have it, and I said, well, hey, if I go get it from a Freightliner, because I called around, closest Freightliner that had it was the one down near Denver. I said, if I run down there and get it and bring it back, will you put it on? They said, yeah, sure, no problem. And it cost me, still, by driving down and picking it up myself, bringing it back to them, still cost me a hell of a lot more, a lot less, than it would have if I'd gone to a real Freightliner dealer. Plus, they probably couldn't have gotten me in for days. That's always the situation with a Freightliner. Oh, well, we can get to you maybe tomorrow night, maybe the next day, the sun, the moon, the stars. Oh. I don't have time for that. I got to roll. I'm an owner-operator. I got to keep rolling, baby. So, Sapp Brothers has done me right. Also, fix what you can on your truck. Like I say, I just fixed that license plate light. I bought the replacement light at a TA in Boise, Idaho, and plugged it in. No, it wasn't the light, so I knew it was wiring. So when I was in Vancouver, Washington, getting loaded there, I crawled under the trailer and pulled the wiring out until I found where it had been repaired badly before, and I repaired it with some shrink tubing and a torch. Beautiful thing. Everybody needs to have that. All drivers, you own your own truck, you need to have that. I know company drivers, none of this matters to you because you just pull into a shop and call your company and say, I need this replaced, I need a bulb replaced because I can't replace a headlight bulb of my own. I'm a company driver. Alright, I shouldn't do that. I've been a company driver, but you know what? When I was a company driver, I replaced my own damn bulbs. Even if the company said, well, we don't want you doing that, I still did it. Because I don't want to wait 10 hours for a freaking headlight bulb. That's me, alright? So, fix what you can. I try to do that all the time. Get an impact, if you can. Get a drill. Get some basic tools. Get a basic socket set. Shrink tubing, a torch. Like I said, I keep promising I'm going to do a video about all my tools, and I will. It's just now it's nighttime again, and I need to do that in the daytime where I can show you my tool bag and everything on the outside. Plus, I'm going to do a video about how to do a basic wiring repair with shrink tubing and a torch. A lot of people don't even know how to do that. Real simple stuff. And so I want to do that too. Trying to be helpful as well as just, you know, making myself waste some time and wind down while I'm parked at night. Alright, I know I've already gone on about 11 minutes on this one. I always tend to run long, and I'm sorry, but thanks so much for tuning in. And again, Sapp Brothers, main note on this video, keep that in mind, for owner-operators, you're going to be pleased when you go to their shops, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Ring the bell, hit the like, sniff the magic YouTube fairy dust. As always, clutch out.